The Cleveland Guardians in 2022 had a successful season, winning their division, winning the AL Central, going 92-70. However, they fell short in the ALDS to the New York Yankees. So, heading into 2023, they'll obviously be looking to turn the corner, maybe make a little bit of a deep run into the playoffs. So, what are the expectations for this Cleveland team? Who's going to be key for them? And what moves are they making in the offseason? We're going to cover that all right here on Bleacher Brawls. So, let's get straight into it. My name is Derek. I'm here with Luke, and let's get straight into it. So as I said, 92-70 was the record for the Cleveland Guardians last year. They'll be looking to turn the page 2023, hoping for more success. So I'll hand it over to Luke. Heading into 2023, if you can, three key players for this Cleveland Guardians team. Who are they? And then single out one of them. Who do you think is really that key guy for this Cleveland team?
Well, my team motto for the Cleveland Guardians in 2023 is get to that next level. Be that team that can get past the ALDS. They came one game away from it last year, and get to the Final Four, get to the ALCS, and see if you can take it to the Astros or whoever it is that's waiting for you there and make the World Series. Become one of those top five teams in the league, because I don't think anyone has them ranked there yet, even though they are really close and on paper very well could be one of the five best teams, all things considered. So the three key players, the first one, obviously Jose Ramirez. He's the franchise. He's the offensive linchpin. He committed to stay in Cleveland when he could have gotten a whole bunch more money with a better team. He could have almost picked his spot if he wanted to. Stayed in Cleveland for a bargain. The perfect piece to build around, and he's a top 10 player in Major League Baseball. Andres Jimenez is a huge player for them. He's an emerging star at the top, an on-base machine to have at the top of the lineup. Had a 371 on-base percentage last year, kind of an unheralded, unsung hero that was a huge piece of that team. 297 batting average, 17 home runs, 69 RBIs. This guy has some pop in his bat too, and 20 stolen bases, and can play three different positions in the infield. The guy's a stud, and people still don't know who he is yet, because he's not in a big market, but soon enough everyone's going to know who he is. He's a part of this deep core of lefty sluggers that the Guardians have now. That makes for a really dangerous team right now. But the biggest key player, as I think he was last year too, is Shane Bieber, the ace, and the ace in a contract year where he has to pitch like an ace, not just for the team to get to the next level, but for his future, to get that big payday that everybody wants. He did himself a disservice. Game 5, the ALDS last year, he should have walked into Terry Francona's office and demanded the ball. I don't know if he said he couldn't go, if he was afraid to go. He hasn't gotten paid yet. He doesn't want to mess with his arm. I can understand the thought process there, but his reputation took a hit, in my opinion, for not demanding the ball the way a Max Scherzer, the way a Garrett Cole would have, the way a Pedro Martinez, Kurt Schilling would have. You want to be that dude, then you got to be that dude. You got all offseason to rest up after maybe 3 more starts at most. Maybe 4 more starts at most if you win that game for your team. He needs to pitch even better this year than he did last year to make up for that hit that I think his reputation took league-wide. And he needs to be that guy who not just that guy who pitches great, but that guy with that killer instinct that says, I'm going to put this team on my back and kill this other team so that our team can march over them, especially in the playoffs. He didn't do that last year. I really like him as a player. I would have loved to see him do that. I want him to be that guy this year.
Yeah. So I think you hit on 3 very key players. I'll also name out Steven Kwan. I think he's a big piece for them. Jose Ramirez, obviously. The guy I want to focus on is Emmanuel Clase. I think he's the best reliever in baseball. I'm extremely high on him. Guy throws 100-mile-per-hour cutters like it's nothing. Got a nasty slider. And he doesn't walk anyone, which how many guys throw 100 with that kind of movement and don't walk anyone? It's extremely rare. He's got like a career ERA, sub 150, I think, career ERA, just outrageous. He's got like a sub 135 ERA over the last 2 seasons combined, and like 100 and something. It's outrageous. So for me, I think he's really a big piece for them, because they get to the game to the 9th inning and it's game over. It's pretty much game over.
as good as he is, he doesn't strike out as many people as I think
A lot of weak
people think
contact.
he does. A lot of contact from him. Like I think I can't, I have no idea right now, but if he threw like 95 innings, say, I think he had like 97 strikeouts, something like that.
Yeah,
Like
there's a lot
barely
of weak
above,
contact there, though. There's
yeah,
a lot of
barely
weak
above
contact.
1K an inning.
Yeah, but tons of weak contact. I think that's because that's where the movement really helps him. It gets a lot of weak contact. Moving on, the Cleveland Guardians. Sorry, she's Louise. They made some moves the offseason. Not a lot of moves, but they signed Josh Bell, Mike Zunino, did a couple other things. So which one of those moves really kind of stands out for you?
Um, to me, it's got to be Josh Bell. The only other big move they made, I mean, I don't even know if you can call it big, signing Mike Zunino, who's a really good defensive catcher who will hit like 130 and hit a bomb every 8 at bats. But I mean, Josh Bell, he was a really coveted player in this offseason. It's another guy. He's a switch hitter, which is big because they got some, they don't have much from the right side offensively in Cleveland. They don't have that much. So Josh Bell being there makes the left side even more dangerous and gives them a little bit on the right side too. 351 career on base percentage. I think people think of him as more as Josh Bell as more of a slugger than he's a pretty complete offensive player. I think he's a big dude. He looks like he mashes the ball, but he's just a good all around offensive player. He's got playoff experience now with the Padres going through, going through that NLCS last year, all the way through that NLCS last year. And he lengthens that lineup that I think was that last year was not a lineup that made you scared, except for Jose Ramirez. But I think now with Bell and now with Jimenez emerging as a really good player, all of a sudden, and with Mike Zunino now, who's a guy you at least got to be scared of him knocking the ball out of the park. I think they got a lineup that looks pretty formidable now. I want to mention that they now the Guardians hired Amanda Kamikona, the first female on-field hitting coach in franchise history. So that's great for that franchise, and it's good for the sport getting more females involved in on-field roles, in dugout roles, on the practice field roles. Anyway.
Yeah, it's nice to get them involved in roles just in general. And taking that to further steps is great to see. I think the one thing with Josh Bell, I will say, does get streaky at times. So that's just kind of the worry with him. He does definitely get streaky. There were two halves to the season. There was the national season for him last year, and then the Padres, and there were two totally different seasons for him. We saw it with Pittsburgh. I think in 2019, it was like hot all year. And then in I think it was 21, he was pretty much cold all year. So he definitely can get streaky and go on long streaks. But when he's on a long hot streak, it's really good. And Mike Zunino, great defense. If he's healthy, he can give you great defense behind the plate and hit you 25 home runs if he's healthy. Can't ask for too much more. Defense and then some power, can't complain. So now moving into 2023, if you had to, sum it up, what are your expectations for this Cleveland team? Obviously won the division last year. You got to expect same expectations heading into this year. Win the division, try and make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they win the AL Central again. I think they reach the ALDS, and I I would put it at over 50% that they make the ALCS. I think they're certainly a game better than they were last year. With the added experience for guys like Andres Jimenez, adding a guy like Josh Bell to the lineup to lengthen the lineup a little bit. And you got Shane Bieber in a contract here at least, so he's going to be willing to test that to push that arm a little further. I think they get to Game 5 in the ALDS next this year. He's pitching, and look, this is a team that's built for the playoffs. They have a great starting pitcher in rotation with Bieber and Tristan McKenzie. The Plesac is pretty good. Aaron Savali was, not playoff worthy, even though he started Game 5 of the ALDS. But they got a really good pitching starting rotation, probably one of the best in the league,
and a very underrated bullpen too.
Yeah, well, outstanding bullpen, very well, maybe the best bullpen in all of Major League Baseball, and a potent lineup that got deeper this year. Like I said before, a lack of right-handed impact bats could hurt them. They got Ahmed Rosario. He's pretty good. Oscar Gonzalez, like kind of and now Josh Bell hitting from the right side. I think that is the biggest part of adding Josh Bell, is just another bat, another formidable bat on the right side of the plate. And they got Zanino too, which is much more likely to whiff than he is to actually do any offensive damage. I never liked those low average, but average guys who just happen to hit a 450-foot home run every once in a while. But I think there's a very good chance these guys reach the ALCS. I don't see them getting to the World Series, but I think that's just because I just can't picture, just because I haven't seen it before. Like, can I see this Cleveland Guardians team in the World Series like the way they made it in 2017 or 2016, whenever that was?
16.
I can't picture it, but that doesn't mean it can't happen.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much only been the Astros in recent years, besides the Sox in 18, Red Sox in 18, really? And the Rays in 2020. So it's pretty much been the Astros. Yeah, I agree. I literally have for my expectations written down. I have push for the division, should push for a division title and make noise in the playoffs. That's what I have for them. Those are expectations for them. You never know. Maybe a second team pops up in this division and somehow beats them out to the division title, but they need to make noise in the playoffs whether they win the division or not. I think that's the goal.
The White Sox were supposed to be really good last year, and they flubbed. And the Twins are, I feel like you never know.
They just big health questions.
You never know with the Twins. Like I think of the Twins as usually being like kind of a 500 team, but every once in a while they'll really put it together and be really good for you. But I mean, I think it's the Guardians to lose.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Obviously, make sure to check out all our links in the description. The link to the playlist of our team profiles will be the first link down there, as well as our Bleacher Brawls website, podcast, Instagram, and Twitter, plus all the crew's Twitters. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know if I post. Comment if you are a Guardians fan. Let us know your thoughts on this team. And for Luke, my name is Derek. Thanks for tuning in to Bleacher Brawls, and we'll see you next time.